Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing well whenever you tune in and see this day or night. This is going to be a general reading for Pisces, all forms of Pisces energy, whether you're a sign Pisces, rising sign Pisces, moon sign Pisces, or even have your Venus in Pisces or some other placement in your birth chart. This is about Pisces energy, right? A general reading, okay? And happy birthday to all of the sun sign Pisces out there, okay? I said happy birthday in one of my other videos, a while back, since technically we've been in your season since about February 18th. All right, but I'm saying it again. Happy birthday to all the Pisces out there. All right, so whether you've already had your birthday or it's coming up, okay. But yeah, this is going to be a general reading that can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc., and money in abundance as well too. So I pulled all of your cards here, and we'll get into it in just a moment. I just want to go over a couple of things. When we were talking about placements just a moment ago, if you haven't already found out your other placements, I always encourage everyone to do so, because depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate more with your sun sign, with your moon sign, or some other placement in your chart, okay? So you can do that just by Googling it online. Even if you don't have your exact birth time, you can still get a pretty good birth chart, all right? But yeah, let's go ahead and I'm gonna set my timer and we're gonna get into reading here. I do want to let you know ahead of time too that I do take one photo at the end of all the cards. After the live, I'll post it, but how to get there is in the description box below in case you want to see it more up close or detail or whatever, okay? So with that being said, let's do a quick little sound bell here for some general grounding and healing for the reading for you and for me, and just turning that music down a little bit. That's there to distract my animals. All right. So just be aware it does get a little loud in case you're sensitive to sound. And if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, or you can just listen as well. All right. All right. Pisces. I'm going to put this over here actually because the table is a little full right now. And yeah, let me just turn my music back up for a moment here. Again. All right. So let's go ahead. First of all, if you're new, welcome. Even if you're not new, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and call out the cards in the center first, and then working outwards to talk about your tarot confirmation cards that we use another deck for, and what's on the top and the bottom of each deck to get even more insight. And then at the very end, we will do your oracle cards as well. All right, so we have 9 of Cups in the right side up position here, the Moon in the reverse position, the World in the reverse position, 7 of Swords right side up, Ace of Staves, also known as Ace of Wands, right side up, 3 of Sacred Circles, also known as 3 of Pentacles, right side up, 2 of Staves in reverse or 2 of Wands in reverse, the Temperance card in the reverse position, the Queen of Sacred Circles or Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position, and then the 2 of Cups in the right side up position. Usually I've been doing 9 cards in the center for like this 4.5 week time period. as of late, but Pisces, maybe because it's your season or what, you got an extra card. Spirit wanted me to take it. So you got 10 cards here, okay? All right. So I forgot to check hold on one second, guys. Sorry. Put my calendar. Okay, so each row kind of corresponds to a certain amount of time, okay, but it is general and it's not exact and will be different for everybody. All right, but just as a general guideline, this first row is going to be energy starting around February 18th, right? We're going back in time a little bit. So let's see, it would be from the 18th to about, hold on. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 days. That's fine, because then we still have, yeah, that's, I mean, whatever, right? Sorry. So going back, this first row would be energy starting around February 18th to about February 28th. Okay, so 12 days or so time period. All right. Then the second row would be from about March 1st through, let's say, March 9th. Okay, so that's 9 days there. And then the third row here, right, we're going horizontal, is going to be from March 9th to the 18th. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 days, okay, for the last row. Again, it is a general thing, but I'll leave my calendar up here and refer back to it later. All right. Now, I also wanted to say that as we get into the reading here, let's say you say, oh, this is not my reading, don't force it, okay? Again, check your other placement, but it could also be the energy of the person that you're dealing with or multiple people that you're dealing with or the general environment situation. So always keep that in the back of your head as well, okay? But let's go ahead and get into it here, Pisces. So when we start with this 9 of Cups in the right side up position, this really beautiful energy, this could be energy from the recent past that's still kind of trickling into your reading here for that last 2 weeks, basically, of February, right? But it could, what is the recent past to you? It could be further back, right? Then it could be back into January, back into last year in December, November, October. It could be a couple of days ago, hours, it could be years, right? It'd be different for everybody. But the 9 of Cups in the right side up position is this really beautiful energy of abundance, of forward momentum, right? It's also talking about being really close to some type of endings and new beginnings, possibly being around the corner for you, right? Because in the tarot, it usually goes from 0 to 10, and this is a 9, okay? So we're talking about endings and new beginnings and possibly leveling up in some way. It can be in a relationship, in a job, in a project, what have you, right? But the main point is the energy is feeling like you're really close to moving forward or upwards in some way, okay? But also the thing to note about this card is the cups in the tarot represent our emotions, and they're all right side up, and there are 9 of them, right? So this talks about emotional contentment, emotional fulfillment, emotional happiness in some way. And again, this could be you, Pisces, or a person that you're dealing with, or multiple people, a general environment situation, okay? And we see here in this card, this kind of like medieval like scene of a party at the round table, okay? And then there's a dancer in the center and a guy playing guitar and all that good stuff. So it also, keep hitting my desk, sorry. Also, when we talk about endings and new beginnings, there could be celebrations around that, right? Somebody could be celebrating, leveling up in some way or stepping up in some way, being right around the corner for you or for the other person or multiple people, general environment situation. Okay. But now going forward here, Pisces, though, there is a little bit of a blockage, and every reading has a blockage or a challenge or a reminder, right? There's different ways you can say it and take it, of course. So when I say blockage here for you, it could be an energetic blockage, and it doesn't last long because you still have really good cards throughout the rest of your reading, right? But your actual card, right, Pisces, is the moon card, and here it's in the reverse position. So this could be saying a lot of different things, okay? But the first thing would be that, let's say, last week or even the week that we're still in till about tomorrow or so, right? It's not exact. Possibly you're not feeling like yourself, okay, in some way with the moon card in the reverse position. It could also be for some of you guys that in the recent past there was a lack of information, a lack of wisdom around something, and maybe now you're getting it now that it's turning in the reverse position, okay? So it will be different for everyone since it's a general reading, all right? But when the moon is right side up, there's this little tiny woman here, and I don't know if you can see it with the lighting. She's by the side of the bridge here, and she's this older Native American woman, so that represents the wisdom. Sometimes you see an owl, but in this deck you see this woman here. So she's trying to find some type of knowledge or wisdom, even though it's dark outside. So I always say when the moon card is right side up, and it wasn't for you, we're just talking about it in relation, right? Is that it's almost like at night when you see a coat hanger or some furniture or whatever, right? So at night, it may look like a monster or it may look like a person or it may look like something different. But if you turn on the light, then you see that information, right? So it's lacking clarity and information in some way. But again, since it came out for you in reverse Pisces, for some of you guys here, maybe now you're getting more information, things are coming to light, you're getting more clarity and wisdom around something, okay? And so hopefully it's not the first thing I mentioned of like not feeling all the way yourself in some way, okay? And also for others, the moon and that Pisces energy talks about creativity as well. So maybe you weren't feeling this past week all the way creative in some way, and maybe you're just having one of those moments, right, where what do they call it? Like writer's block, right? As an example of like creative burnout or something. Because your next card, your third card, is also kind of in the reverse energy blockage placement, right? It's the world in reverse. So it could be here that Pisces in this past week that we're finishing up right now, maybe not only were you not feeling like yourself, but perhaps you were having a hard time in trusting in some type of new beginning, right? And remember, you had the Nine of Cups being like the new beginning is right around the corner, the leveling up is right around the corner, but maybe someone is having a hard time trusting in that, trusting in that the creativity will come back, that you'll start to feel more like yourself, that the world is full of possibilities, new beginnings, right? Maybe there's a resistance to that, okay? And it doesn't necessarily have to be you, Pisces. It could be the other person, multiple people, or general environment situation, okay? But before we go forward, actually, this is kind of where my spirit guides wanted me to talk to you, or not kind of, but it is where my spirit guides wanted me to talk to you about what's in the top and the bottom of the main deck here we're using in the center in relation to those last two cards, the moon in reverse and the world in reverse position. So when we talk about what's on the top and the bottom of each deck, this is energy from the way, way back past, not the recent past, whatever that means for you, but further back, okay? So this completely makes sense. This is another Pisces card here. We have the High Priestess in the reverse position that's on the top of your deck here. And then we have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position here. So in the recent past, somebody here was not using their intuition, their inner guidance system, right? Somebody was not feeling particularly creative in some way, perhaps. Somebody was wanting to, in some way, perhaps reveal a secret or secret knowledge or the occult, right? Because that's what the scrolls represent here when the High Priestess in the right side up, even though it was reversed. Maybe in the way, way back past, somebody revealed some secrets or wanted to, or there was some kind of information or knowledge they were holding close to their chest, but they still were not using their intuition in some way. Now, when it's paired together with, and let me just hold up the world in reverse, right, into why we're getting into these cards, okay? Then we have the Queen of Swords in the right side up position, okay? So here you see this Japanese woman is standing over this island in the middle of the sea, right? And she's a giant, okay, compared to the little people. So, but at the same time, she's waving at them. So she's remaining humble. So in other decks, you would see or know the Queen of Swords as being really cold and calculated and not showing her emotions. But here she's trying to lighten up a little bit or take her leadership role or her higher position of authority over other people or even one person or whoever, whatever it is, right? She's trying to keep this like lighthearted sense to it. And normally the Queen of Swords would not show everyone her emotions, only like a select few, but that could be a blockage to her abundance or his abundance or whatever. It's just a metaphor for, I'm not talking about gender, right? But the reason why these two cards are kind of coming out with the moon in reverse and the world in reverse is, again, kind of like what I already said, is like somebody here, Pisces, is not using their intuition, is afraid of leveling up, right? Because a queen is the highest position of authority as far as, like, let's say a princess would be first and a little girl would be, well, no, let me say that again. A little tiny girl would be at the bottom or the first step. The princess we think of as somebody in their 20s or teenager or a little older, right? And then the queen would be older than that, okay? So it's like the highest level of authority as far as royalty or leadership qualities, okay? So when we put it also together with that Nine of Cups, the first card in your reading here, when I said maybe somebody was not quite ready to step into that leadership role because of maybe something to deal with in the past, maybe they dealt with someone else that was above them that wasn't trying to stay humble and show some of their emotions in a warm, welcoming way. Maybe they don't want to be like that themselves, or maybe there's still some emotions that they need to figure out, because the water too in the tarot represents the emotions, and you have a lot of water in this card, okay? And when you put it with the world, right, and also the moon in reverse, they also have a lot of water, right? Pisces, you're a water sign. Okay, you see the river here, if it was right side up, the water, and then of course the moon, the world, you see all the oceans, okay? So it could be that somebody's trying to get a handle on their emotions so they can step into some type of leadership role or level up, or even channel their emotions into their creativity again and have them not, as an example, be in like a writer's block mode or something here. All right, but let's keep going forward. So now we're going to talk about the second row, which I said could be energy around March 1st through March 9th, okay? And we start off with the Seven of Swords in the right side up position. This is an energy of, collecting for something that you've worked really hard to do, but maybe other people don't see it that way. There could be a little bit of gossiping energy in the background, but it doesn't have to be for everybody. But the main thing is, if this guy, let's say is at a carnival or fair, this Japanese guy, and he's won all these swords, he doesn't really need all of those, right? So he could share them with others. Maybe the other people, the gossiping energy, don't feel like he deserves all those swords, even though he won them fair and square, right? Or maybe they feel like he shouldn't be smiling about it or something like that, right? But the swords in the tarot also represent our intellect, okay? And they are going down kind of in this like defensive position. So you normally want the swords to be right side up, and they're going down because he's just carrying them like that, okay? But it's like, there could be a little bit of mental confusion, anxiety, worry, overthinking here with yourself, Pisces, or another person that you're dealing with, or multiple people, or general environment situation. Maybe around that, going back and harking back to the Nine of Cups and the Queen of Swords, that ending and new beginning, or even the World in reverse. Maybe this leveling up, whatever it is for you, maybe people could be talking about it and that's making you more defensive, right? Because you're like, hey, I won this fair and square. Why are they talking about me? So it kind of makes sense why the swords are kind of in that defensive mode there too. So maybe the defensive energy for you could show up like anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in your head. But thank goodness it doesn't last long, because here we have your fifth card, Pisces, is the Ace of Staves in the right side of position. This is really beautiful, fiery energy. Ace of Staves, also known as Ace of Wands in other decks, right? It's about planting seeds for the future. It's about fertility. Okay, so it's a metaphor, right? The wands or the staves, right? Could be, even if you're not a woman that wants to have a baby at this time, right? It's more of a metaphor. Excuse me, one second. Fertility of a creative project or the next stage or step of your life, or whatever you're trying to currently manifest in your life, right? So that is also the fertility symbol here, okay? But aces are also about new beginnings, regardless of the minor arcanas that it is associated with. So whether it's the Ace of Wands or Ace of Staves or Ace of Swords or Ace of Cups, right? They're always like this new, fresh energy coming in and forward momentum. So this is really nice, especially following the last previous couple of cards, okay? Now moving forward through the rest of this upcoming week or so, then we have the Three of Sacred Circles, also known as Three of Pentacles right side up. And this is this really beautiful energy of, stacking your abundance slowly, working on your priorities. What are your priorities? Redefining that maybe, or setting firm boundaries with things, okay? But it's not 10 of Pentacles, but it's not one pentacle or two, it's three, right? So it's slowly stacking your abundance, and abundance isn't just money, even though here we're talking about sacred circles or pentacles. It's whatever you want to manifest in your life again, okay? But you see on the drums here in the front of the card and in the back of the card, there's the bear spirit and the eagle spirit, or some kind of bird, right? And so these are two things that you could be focusing on a lot here, Pisces, in that first week of March, of like, okay, how can I see things from a larger perspective? How can I see all the pieces? And how can I see not only my perspective, but someone else's perspective or view on something, okay? But also the energy of the bear, right? Of having hibernation. How can I save, when we talk about resources and money, or even your energy or your health? How can I save my health and my resources and my energy and my money, all those things, for the future, for the long winter, right? The bears hibernate in the winter, okay? Even if it's not winter, wherever you are in the world, it's just more of a metaphor here, okay? But this is really nice energy. It's like a slower moving energy, but it's still abundant, and it's still progress and forward momentum, all right? Okay. So now going forward, we're in the last row here, and this is energy, just as an example, not set in stone, but starting around March 9th through March 18th or so, okay? We have the Two of Staves in the reverse position, or Two of Wands in the reverse position here, Pisces. And this actually was poking its head out a little bit when I was shuffling, and then it decided to come all the way out. There's a lot of water in this card as well, right? So this is how it came out for you in the reverse position. But just to show you, if it was right side up, it would be the Nile River, okay? It's still the Nile River when it's upside down, but if you aren't familiar with the card, you might not know that that's a river, okay? So when this card shows up here, Pisces, it could be that while you're in that Three of Pentacles or Three of Sacred Circles right side up, of slowly stacking your abundance, seeing things from a larger perspective, working on preserving your energy, preserving your money, preserving your manifestation or your magical things that you want to bring into your life. That while that's going on, it could be that now you're ready to step out into the social scene in some way. For some of you guys, that's what this card represents. And for the other group of you guys, if that's not how you feel, it could be that you are not ready to do that yet because you still need to do something here with your emotions. Or the other person does, or multiple people, general environment situation, okay? It could be that you need to go within and there is, you have the moon in reverse and the high priestess in reverse, right? Further back up here. So it's like when I think of Pisces in general, and it is a generalization, I feel like they're very intuitive, like a lot of water signs are. And every sign can be, right? Because it's all about practice and we all have those things inside of us. But it's like there could be something going on during this time period, Pisces, for some of you guys, where you're not using your intuition, you're not balancing your emotions in a more productive way. And that could also be why I can't even talk right now. That could also be one of the reasons why you're having a hard time slowing down. When you look at this card, if it was right side up, you see the back of the head of this Egyptian woman. She's lounging on this chase lounge, right? And she's looking at the Nile River and she's looking at the ships going by. And she's just very quiet. She's not on the ship. She's not ready to be in that scene yet. But remember when I said it, when it is reversed for some of you guys, now you're ready to go get on that ship. But for the majority of you guys, I still feel like you're not all the way quite ready to do something in a social way in some way, whether it's physically social or energetically social, spiritually social, economically social, whatever it is, right? It's like it's not quite there yet. Okay. And it's not a bad thing. It could also be that you're so much focusing on your abundance, your money, your wealth, right? Doing that Three of Sacred Circles energy or Three of Pentacles energy that it's like, I don't have time for any of that other stuff right now. It could also be that, okay? Let's see now. Going forward, though, we have your seventh card. I was just counting. I was like, yeah, that is seven. We have the Temperance card in the reverse position. And you guys, I completely forgot. Let's stop for a second here and talk about the other zodiac signs I see here showing up in your reading. I try to do it in the beginning, but sometimes I forget. So we have two Pisces energy cards that showed up. We have Aquarius energy. We have Sagittarius energy. We have Virgo energy. And that's it. So what did I say? Pisces, Aquarius, Sagittarius, and Virgo. So what does that mean? That means that you could have a lot of those placements predominantly in your birth chart or the other person's birth chart. Or if you're dealing with multiple people, some of those people could have one of those signs as their sun sign or whatever. Or it could mean nothing at all, but I wanted to mention it. And the reason why I just remembered is because I'm a Sagittarius sun sign, and the Temperance card, your seventh card, is the Temperance card. So then I was like, oh, wait, I forgot to call out the signs. All right. So anyway, putting that aside, putting the zodiac signs aside, right? The Temperance card in the reverse position here, and this is how it came out for you, Pisces, talks about a lack of patience. Again, a lack of channeling the emotions in a positive way or finding a balance to your emotions in a positive way. If it's not you, Pisces, it could be the other person and multiple people, general environment situation. But when it's following the Two of Staves that we just talked about in reverse, it's like, yeah, I'm not ready to get back out in the social scene in some way or socialize in some way. Because I don't have the patience to go inward and balance these emotions in a more grounded way, whether it's you or the other person or multiple people here. So this kind of completely makes sense that the Temperance card will be following this Two of Staves in the reverse position. Now, normally when she be right side up, you see this There's dog hair and cat hair everywhere. Sorry. You see this Native American woman, and she's taking water from these two shells and kind of pouring them back and forth, right? So that's the alchemy energy. It's the balancing energy. She has one foot in the water and one foot on land. Okay, so this is the 3D and this is the 5D spiritual world, the conscious and the unconscious. So when it's in reverse, it could be that somebody's not dealing with, again, when we talk about emotions, their unconscious emotions, or they're not dealing with the physical 3D world, right, of paying their bills, or I don't know, it could be a lot of different things, okay? But it's just generally the way I see it is like a lack of patience, okay, especially following the other card. All right, but let's keep going forward. You do have some good stuff. I promise it's coming here, Pisces, okay? I mean, you kind of have good and a little bit like not good, and you got good again, and then another good one, and then you got like a little energetic blockage, and then you have good again. So that's kind of obviously, the way that life goes for all of us. Things ebb and flow, okay? Let me just turn this music up a little bit so it's not so quiet. All right, where were we? Talked about the Temperance in reverse. So going forward here, your ninth card here, Pisces, is the Queen of Sacred Circles in reverse. And this could be more towards the middle of March for some, right? Since we're in that last row going horizontally, I said it was about March 9th or so through the 18th, okay? But this is... it's feeling around all the other cards too, right? It's not just the meaning of this particular card by itself, it's everything in general. It really feels like there's a lack of nurturing feeling here, either for yourself or other people also. Because, okay, when we think of nurturing energy, it would be patient energy, it would be gentle energy, right? And we just said somebody here is not having that patient energy. Someone is wanting to just go, go, go. They don't want to slow down. They don't want to listen to their intuition in some way. They could be scared. They could be not dealing with their emotions. But we really see that again with this Queen of Sacred Circles or Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Because when it's right side up, you see this Native American woman who looks like a grandmother, right? And there's a baby here. And so it would be that nurturing energy of the grandmother or an older person, any person with a baby, right? As long as they like children or whatever, okay? But like I said, it's a lack of this nurturing energy, even to yourself, right? Regardless of how you feel about babies, right? It could be a lack of nurturing energy to your inner child or to their inner child, if we're talking about the person that you're dealing with or multiple people, general environment situation. It could also be, again, a little bit of this hesitancy to level up in some way, right? With all these endings and new beginnings that we talked about in your reading as well. So what's to note here too, right? Because I just did the astrology notes in another video, but there's a full moon on March 18th, and that's in this row here. And there's a tiny full moon in the background here. So this energy could be, coming to a head or feeling more intense around the full moon, as usually things tend to feel for everybody. But it's not the end of the world, okay? Because these three last cards that we just talked about, they could all be looked at, and we'll know more when we do your tarot confirmation cards with the other deck, but they're like catalyst cards, right? They're supposed to happen for a reason, because then what is your last card here, Pisces? So beautiful. You have the Two of Cups in the right side up position. So this is about a sacred union, a higher vibrational union, right? High vibe being like you're at your best self, the other person is at their best self. Whether it is romantic situation or work partnership or with friends or family or even different parts of yourself if you're working on self-love, right? It could be any of those things. but it's higher vibrational love, right? It's not the Devil card, which would be considered lust, right? It's not lower vibrational frequencies like the Devil card. It's Two of Cups. It's high vibe. And it's divinely guided. You do see the angel here in the background as well. And what do the cups also talk about? Our emotions, right? So being emotionally content, emotionally fulfilled. Each person is giving the other person in this card their cup. And both cups are right side up. So it's an equal give and take. Whether, again, it's romantic or platonic with friends or family, or even different parts of yourself, okay? So when this shows up here, this could be, since this is your last card in the main center, your 10th card, you had one additional one because you're Pisces and it's your season, I guess, but that's what Spirit wanted. This could be more, like I said, for some people more in the middle of March or even the end of March, or it could be, 3 months from now, or 3 hours or 3 days, or whatever it may be, okay? But it is very positive, and it's for momentum and it's progress, okay? So it could be also to help you with this patient energy that wants to show up in your life, this nurturing energy that wants to show up in your life, to help you balance your emotions, or to help the other person or multiple people balance their emotions. Perhaps this union, whether it's a past union that's already there or it's a new union, perhaps this union is going to help you with those things, right? But however you resonate with it, it is really beautiful. Now, we're going to go back a little bit because I forgot to talk about one thing here, and it's all divine timing, right? As long as I talk about it eventually, because I was just so in my zone there. So let's go ahead and talk about what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck here to get even more insight into your Temperance in reverse and your Queen of Sacred Circles in reverse, right? The lack of patience, the lack of nurturing energy, okay? Because this is where we're going to talk about it. So to get even more insight, we have energy from the way back past, whatever that past means for you. We have the Nine of Pentacles in the right side up position, and then we have that Virgo energy, the Hermit in the right side up position here as well. Okay, so this is saying here, Pisces, that in the way back past, somebody's skill or determination or focus was really on point with the Falcon in the air here. Somebody felt very abundant. Somebody felt like they had a lot of support around them, right? It's usually in other decks, you see the Nine of Pentacles and there's a little scribe dude who's like, oh yeah, babe, what you want from the store? And he's like writing it down for her. So that's a supportive energy, right? And it seems like that when we talk about, having more patience, having more nurturing energy, it totally makes sense that this Virgo card, the Hermit card, shows up here, because the Hermit is very similar to this card you had all the way back up here, the High Priestess, right? Even though this one was in reverse. Maybe perhaps now in some way it's saying in this middle of March here for you Pisces that you did it in the past, because this is past energy. You were able to go inward and find your own answers and listen to your intuition, your inner guidance system, your gut, whatever you call it. Okay, so maybe it's saying that you did it in the past in some way, you can do it again in the future. The other person did it in the past in some way, they can do it again in the future. And the other thing that this is kind of telling me too is that because, one's on top of the deck and one's on the bottom, so they kind of go, the energy like goes back and forth. So, and what do you need in order to be abundant, not only in money and wealth, but whatever you want to manifest in your life? You need skill, determination, and focus. How do you get skill, determination, and focus? You slow down, you go inward, you go within to get that insight and that clarity, so you can hit those targets harder and more focused, okay? So yeah, it could be, this is interesting too, I just noticed. We have the full moon in Virgo, I believe it's in Virgo on March 18th, right? And then you have the Hermit card here. So yeah, I feel like this full moon will not only be, particularly noteworthy for you because you're a Pisces or this is Pisces season, even if you're not a sun sign Pisces. There could be some Virgo energy that really wants to help you here, and it helped you in the past, can help you again. Also, when I was doing the astrology notes earlier, we have, hold on, let's see, it was Mercury enters into Pisces on March 9th. That was the beginning of this row, right? So Mercury is also connected with Virgo, even though Virgo is an earth sign and Mercury, we think of air, because Mercury is a ruler of Gemini as well, but it's also kind of a ruler of Virgo as well. So there could be something around now, around March 9th, Mercury, communications and electronics, to name a few, is coming into Pisces energy. So maybe you're able to, if you are patient and you get in touch with your emotions and you honor this nurturing energy in yourself and others, maybe now you can communicate more like yourself, right? Because remember in the beginning of the reading, I was saying for some, the Pisces energy maybe wasn't feeling all the way like themselves with the moon card in the reverse position. So maybe by the middle of March here, before we get into Aries season, maybe you're starting to feel more like yourself. You're able to communicate better. Okay, but there's definitely something going on here with this Virgo energy and the Hermit card showing up. All right, now moving forward. I knew this reading was going to be a little bit longer, but that is okay, right? It's all the way that it should be. So let's go ahead and talk about, I'm going to put these underneath so I don't get confused here. Let's talk about your tarot confirmation cards before you go, because, we're at like 40 minutes or so. Okay, so I'll call them out and then we'll go in order. We have the Eight of Cups in the right side up position here. We have the Six of Swords in reverse. We have the Five of Wands in reverse, and we have the Two of Cups again. Excuse me, and they're both right side up. Let's just for a moment talk about that. You have a repeating card here in your reading. A lot of times readings can have repeating cards from two different decks, but sometimes they don't have any. So when this shows up, okay, and it's also cool to see how the different artists depict the imagery here, the same energy. Both have the lion in the background with the Archangel Michael, right? Divinely guided higher union, whatever union it may be, romantic, platonic, friends or family, or even self, right? When this shows up twice, this is spirit confirming these things, your guides confirming these things. There's usually 72 cards in every tarot deck, and I do a lot of shuffling and cutting, and then I do a fish pond, and I stir it all up before I pull them out, okay? So I did not do this. This is spirit here, so that's really beautiful. But we'll get more into that again as we go in order, okay? Let me just take a sip here as well. My throat. Okay, hold on. All right. So something to note, whether you're new or you've been here before or coming back, haven't been back in a while, is that the first two tarot confirmation cards are energy from the recent past, and then the last two are more future current energies. And I'll say that again as we go through them, okay? But we're starting off with the Eight of Cups in the right side up position. And this is energy from the recent past, whatever that means for you, okay? But it looks like somebody took let me say that again. Somebody took a break here in the recent past in some way as far as their emotions with the cups, okay? Somebody walked away, somebody took a break, somebody needed to just recharge themselves emotionally here, ask themselves, what are my emotional boundaries? What are my emotional priorities? What makes me emotionally happy? What makes me emotionally content? Okay. And we also have the moon here. We have both moons. We have the new moon and the full moon in the background. Okay. So that could be, like I said, recent past, could be a couple months ago, days, weeks, years, etc. Okay. But the point is, somebody was trying to gather this information. And also, she's on the ocean, right? And the mountains in the background. So the ocean is the water, That is the emotions, just like the cup. So it's like doubly confirming there was maybe a lot of emotions going on, and it caused someone to either leave or take a break or just really think about those things. Okay. And when this energy from the recent past is coming in here and it's confirming the Nine of Cups, the Seven of Swords right side up, and the Two of Staves in reverse here. This is basically saying, Pisces, okay, that break was needed, okay, whether it was you or the other person or multiple people, general environment situation, because it looks like it was a catalyst. So if we go by each one in order here, and we put it with, oops, the other way, it doesn't really matter, but we'll start with the Nine of Cups because that was the first one. Yeah, it's like, okay, this is Eight of Cups. This is Nine of Cups. It's like a natural progression, right? 8 to 9. Okay, they're both right side up. So how do you get ready to slowly level up in some way? You ask yourself those questions. What makes me emotionally happy, content, fulfilled? What are my emotional priorities, emotional boundaries? What are theirs? Multiple people, whatever, etc. Okay, how can I get into the energy of more abundance and celebrational energy? How can I experience more joy around celebrating others, even if it's not you? It's getting in touch with your own emotions in a positive way and finding an outlet for it. So you can then celebrate your own wins and other people's wins as well. Now, when we're talking about the Eight of Cups coming in here and confirming the Seven of Swords right side up, that energy of being a little bit defensive in some way because you won something and other people maybe didn't know that you put a lot of energy and you won it fair and square, and that gossiping energy that we talked about a little bit with the Seven of Swords and being overly defensive in response to that because somebody maybe thought your response, you shouldn't have been smiling if you won all this stuff or whatever. Okay. Bringing the anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in your head or their head, etc. Okay. The way to alleviate some of that stress, okay, the way to let some of your defenses down, your walls down, okay, and have more mental clarity, right, is to, again, get in touch with yourself, with your emotions, the other person get in touch with their emotions, or multiple people get in touch with their emotions, or general environment situation, so you can turn those swords right side up and have more mental clarity, and then have those answers to those questions about the cups as well. Okay. Now the last one here, the Two of Staves or Two of Wands in reverse, this is kind of saying, don't be so quick to run out and join back into the social scene in some way, whether it be physically, socially, or energetically, socially, or economically, socially, or whatever it is. Really make sure you know where your emotions are at, so things can flow better for you and for others. All right. Okay, now moving forward, your second confirmation card, which is also energy from the recent past, is the Six of Swords reverse position. So I was just making sure that there was like a little bit of music there. But yes, Six of Swords in reverse. All right. So what do we have when it's right side up? We have usually there's a mother and a child in the front. You see the back of the mother here, or the person, whatever. And then there's a guy behind them steering the ship, okay? But all the swords are going down. But they're on the river and there's progress. When it came out reversed for you here, Pisces, it could be saying in the recent past, perhaps you didn't trust your progress or another person's progress, or both, or multiple people, general environment situation. It could be that in the recent past, this caused you a lot of confusion, anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in your head, but now you're deciding to let that go because it's in reverse, okay? For some of you, it could be that, well, let's talk, before I get into that, let's talk about what cards it's confirming first before I go too deep into that card alone, right? Because that's why we're here. They're confirmation cards, okay? So the Six of Swords in reverse is confirming the moon in the reverse position, your card here, Pisces, the Ace of Swords, or sorry, not swords, the Ace of Staves right side up, and the Temperance card in the reverse position. Okay, you can see all those there for a moment. All right, so we'll do it one by one. So when the Six of Swords in reverse is coming in here and it's confirming the moon card, both of the rivers are upside down. Both of the progress, even if it was slow progress, stops right on the bell for when we're supposed to stop. Just a general guideline for time. But, you know, the progress has stopped, even if it was slow progress. And that's because somebody doesn't want to have the mental clarity, or they're struggling to see the wisdom that they received around this mental clarity in some way, okay? Now, moving forward, when the Six of Swords is in reverse is confirming the Ace of Swords right side up, it's like the more that you step into that mental clarity here, Pisces, or the other person, or most people, all right, or general environment, right? The more that they do that and also accept that even slow progress is still progress, right? You can't say that unless you have a more logical viewpoint, a more, what was the way I'm trying to say it? The more emotionally you are able to pull your emotions back and look at something from a logical perspective, then you can say, okay, it's slow, but it's still progress. The more that you can do that, you're going to welcome in the Ace energy, new beginnings, fresh energy, fiery passion and creativity and fertility for the future, planting seeds for the future. The more that you do that, the more that you can get into the Ace energy as well. Now, when we have the Temperance card in the reverse position here, also being confirmed by the Six of Swords in reverse, it's like, okay, again, both of the waters are upside down, right? So, you know, this is that lack of patience energy. It is also the lack of balance, right, with the Temperance in reverse. So maybe you don't want your mental in the negative or in the positive. Maybe you just want it sideways. Maybe you just want it balanced, okay? So the more that you have balance over not only your mental, right, the swords, but have balance over your emotions, they all things come together, all things in their right amount, okay, will bring the balance that you are seeking, okay? Or they are seeking, or multiple people are seeking, or what have you. All right, moving forward into your last two confirmation cards, and now we're into the more future possibilities, probabilities, right? Energy or current energies, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we'll go one by one again. You have the Five of Wands in the reverse, and I see this as a warning here, Pisces, okay, or a challenge, all right, or a reminder, okay? Because normally you actually do want to see the Five of Wands right side up, because this represents relying on others, a supportive energy, a playful energy. At first, they look like these five guys are fighting, but they're not fighting. They're play fighting is more the better word. They're planning for the future. They're saying, hey, did you try this? Hey, I'm going to help you learn how to fight. So if it was a real fight, you know how to fight, right? But it's in reverse. So it could be as a reminder here, Pisces, to rely on your support system, whatever that may be, friends, family, mental health care worker, all those things, etc., whatever, because you need that. And it also, the Five of Wands in the reverse position talks about being too serious, okay? You want it to be right side up. You want your friends and your support system and your family to be like, taking this too seriously. Let's have a couple different ways it could go down. Remain flexible, remain flexible, remain flexible. But here, there's no flexible energy. So it's like, a reminder to stay flexible, because that's a good way to be, right, for everybody. Okay, so let's go ahead and show which cards it's confirming here. So this Five of Wands in reverse is confirming the World in reverse, the Three of Sacred Circles right side up, and the Queen of Sacred Circles in reverse as well. Okay, so hopefully you can see that all together for a second there. All right, and then we'll break it down in order. Yeah, all right. So the world, right, is also, if it was right side up, is very similar to Ace's energy. So it's new beginnings, right? It's this fresh, new, exciting, clean, clear energy. Okay, so it's in reverse because somebody's lacking flexibility. Somebody's lacking playfulness in some way. Somebody's taking something too seriously. So it's saying here, if you just add those things back in, add the flexibility, add relying on your support system, whatever that may be, and putting more playful energy into your life, then you can reverse that world and turn it right side up and bring the new beginnings, the abundant energy back in. Okay. Now, when the Five of Wands in reverse is confirming the Three of Sacred Circles right side up, same thing. You just kind of said, like, how do I get more than 3 sacred circles or 3 of Pentacles, right? How do I get 10 of Pentacles or 10 of sacred circles? Add in the flexibility, add in that playful energy, and rely on your support system, and you'll be able to do that, okay? Now, the last one here with the Queen of Sacred Circles or Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it's like bringing that nurturing energy, bringing that, I want to step into my power in some way. I want to level up in some way, in a relationship, in a job, creative project, what have you, whatever. I want to do those things. Well, how do I get to that point? How am I going to be gentle with myself and with others and step into my power and bring more abundance? Again, add flexibility. Don't be so serious. Rely on your support system. Okay. Now, wait a second. I also want to talk about, because you have 10 cards instead of 9, because I usually do it like that. But we have this guy over here too. So let's not forget the Two of Cups. So what is the Five of Wands in reverse saying about the Two of Cups? The more that you can get into a higher vibrational union or partnership, whether it's romantic or platonic with friends or family, work, or different parts of yourself, again, be flexible. Don't be so serious. Rely on your support system. Trust not only your support system, but trust the other person in this partnership, okay? That's really important as well. All right, now with the last confirmation card here, your other repeating card, the Two of Cups in the right side up position, it's going to come in here and confirm the same cards we just did, but of course just a little bit differently, or just added on to it, right? However you want to say it. Okay, the Two of Cups again is coming in here and confirming the World in reverse, the Three of Sacred Circles right side up, and the Queen of Sacred Circles in reverse. So, how do I become more abundant and accept new, fresh, creative energy into my life, abundant energy into my life? Do an equal give and take with others. Do an equal give and take within all unions in my life, whether it's romantic, work unions, friends and family, and different parts of myself. The more that I am able to stay high vibe, being the best part of myself, and giving exactly what the other person is giving me, right? Then that can make you more abundant and have even more new beginnings. Now with the Three of Sacred Circles right side up, coming in here being confirmed by the Two of Cups, same kind of thing. How can I, if you notice actually here too, even though this is the Three of Sacred Circles, there's 2 animals here. We already talked about the bird, whether it's an eagle or just a bird. I think it's an eagle. And the bear, right? It's like 2 animals, 2 energies. doesn't have to be necessarily two people. It can be, if it's like work stuff, it could be two companies, it could be two corporations, it could be two whatever, right? The other thing about the Two of Cups, right, is that it's about emotions. So it's like honoring in all things the positive and the negative. Also honoring that we all have positive and negative within ourselves. We all have masculine and feminine within ourselves. Not saying one is more or less negative or positive, right? But that there's like the duality in life, okay? So the more that you here, Pisces, can get into seeing that it's okay to ask someone that you trust, right? When you're in a union that's divinely guided, you hopefully trust that person or you trust that energy, right? If it's not just one person or multiple people, general environment situation, to be like, hey, is it cool if I invoke the energy of the eagle and the bear, or should I be looking for another animal spirit to help me with this goal of mine, right? Just as an example. Okay, so it's really about trusting and using your support system again, kind of already what we talked about with the Five of Wands in reverse. All right, now moving forward, ta-da, we have the Queen of Sacred Circles again in reverse, being confirmed again, not again, but this time by the Two of Cups in the right side up position. So how do we get more nurturing energy into our life and step into our power and leadership roles or next level in something? Again, check in with your emotions and rely on your support system. And if it's a union that you're working towards, or even an old union, new union, whatever it is, if you trust that other person or party or energy, to ask, be like, hey, can you double check that this is right? Or, hey, does this make sense? Whatever it is, okay? That can be, or not even does this make sense? Like, is this nurturing for you? Or it not nurturing, doesn't have to be that word, right? It could be like, does this just being considerate, okay? So considerate or compassionate would be another kind of way of saying like nurturing energy, right? Is this a good time for you to meet? Is this a good next step for us to take? Is this whatever, right? Whatever it is. It's just like really asking those questions within this union, okay, or even union of different parts of yourself. So then you can step into your power again and you can be abundant and move forward. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, there we go. And then again, I say that too much. And next, I'm sorry, I'm going to start saying next now. Next, we have the Two of Cups confirming the Two of Cups, all right? So again, a particular message from Spirit showed up twice in two different decks in the same way. One is, well, actually, they're both future current energies. One is not past. I'm sorry. I stopped myself there. They're both future current energies, okay? So I think we pretty much already said it, but yeah, like, you know, honor the duality in all things. Try to be the best person that you can be, and try to give equally. And don't be afraid to ask questions or to confirm something. So you show that you have compassion. So you show that you're being considerate to others, okay? And then you'll get more abundance as usual, okay? Abundance isn't just money in life. It's whatever you want to manifest and bring in, okay? So woo, child. Okay, that is all the tarot. Woo, child, Pisces, yes. I love Pisces. I have a lot of Pisces in my chart too, so I say that with love. But before you go, real quickly, let's do your oracle cards here. So I know we're getting close to the time. All right, so your first love oracle card, whether you're watching for romantic love or platonic love with friends or family, or even self-love or all the above, right? Your love oracle message is very soon, and it says, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Okay, and that could be, again, romance with friends or family, right? I don't want to be loved this way. I want to be loved that way. And for self-love, the same thing, okay? I don't want to do somebody else's self-care rituals. I don't like bubble baths. I want to listen to rock music, whatever, okay, as an example. Just decide very soon, the more that you write it down and speak it and manifest it, it will happen. Okay, your last oracle message here is, and this, before I say it, is from the Rumi or Remy, depending on how you pronounce it, oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. I'm just showing it because that's the name of it. It's not because I get money from her or anything. I wish, hey girl, hey, if you I'm just kidding. But yes, so Rumi or Remy, depending on how you pronounce it, is a 13th century poet, Persian poet, and he's one of my favorites. Will you stop? And maybe Hermes too, because he's making noise right now. Or maybe you don't like him because you growled. I don't know. But let's get into it here. Okay, so your Rumi or Remy oracle card for this time period and even beyond, perhaps, is Enter the Garden of Delights. Okay, card number 28. Look how beautiful that is. So I'll read a little bit here for you guys, not the whole thing, but, and that is my cat. Girl, it is not even dinner time. Don't start. Sorry, guys. So I'll read a little bit of the poem, and then I won't read all the other stuff, and then I'll read the ritual, which is usually like a couple of sentences on how you can incorporate this energy into your life at this time. Please, no, honey. In a little bit, I'm almost done. All right. So hopefully, turn this up too. No, I'm gonna lock you in the room if you don't. You've shown out lately. Okay, hush. Okay, we're just gonna ignore her. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so it says, Enter the Garden of Delights. You know what? Hold on. I can't do it with her. Hold on. Get your ass over here. Come here. Come here. What are you doing? Stop. Come here. Come here. No soup for you. I just gave her the Seinfeld. No soup for you. Okay. Sorry, guys. So let's get into this card so you can go out about your day or night. All right. Here you go. Okay. It says, Enter the Garden of Delights. Are you aware that sweetness is found everywhere in town? Are you aware that winter is gone and spring has come around? Are you aware that sweet basil and cardamom, not cardamom, oh yeah, it is cardamom, okay. Are you aware that sweet basil and cardamom are whispering in the garden and laughing about how simple everything is found? Are you aware? Are you aware the nightingale has come back from its flight, singing out messages of love to spread delight with every sound? Everything in the garden is granted the right from the divine court to appear for our delight. Everything is here to make the earth green and alive as a haven for our life. What remains buried in the soil will always endeavor to reach out. No one is truly alive, can ever be pawned to a prison or a tune. There is a sweet spot when entering the garden of delight, a moment where the senses have gorged themselves upon beauty and become heavy with their fullness, slowing the mind so that it can perceive the divine beloved dancing behind the veils of nature. But first comes the sensual feasting. Blooming orchards arrest the gaze with their startling and strange beauty. Nectar from the ripest fruits of the garden drips, luscious and sweet, upon a savoring tongue. Hungry for gossip, the ears shamelessly eavesdrop upon the birds in their melody conversation. They sing of the greatness, most passionate love, and boundless living joy. The ears open wide to take it all in. The craving for touch is satiated by rough textures, bark falling from the ancient trees, soft dewy grasses cool in the shade, the crunching leaves making their sound under the hot sun, and dancing feet, and the caresses of that sunlight upon bare shoulders, with weight of its own like a silken wrapped place just so, by a caring lover's hand. The breeze, the very breath of the beloved earth mother, is sweet with the scent of lavender and jasmine, warmed by the sun father. Oh, drink it until your arms raise themselves to the heavens. Your head tilts, eyes rolled back in your head, and your sacred animal body is mindless and in love. The garden of delights, neurotic in effect. I'm sorry, is that right? Wait. The garden of delights. Yep, neurotic in effect. Lulling the senses from tension into sacred laughter that love may be experienced. Okay. Let us rest here in the midst of so much life, where the goodness of life is felt and the heart is free from any prison of pain or doubt. Come be in the garden with me now. Let us be free and feast from our heart's content. Okay, very beautiful. You know what? I think I have seen this card before. Somebody else got it in the last series of readings. I can't remember who it was. All right. Anyway, so if you want to bring in more energy from this Garden of Delights, right? It says you can say aloud, I accept the gift of golden grace and healing now, to leave behind all prisons and tombs, conscious and unconscious, of heart and of mind. I open up to life and assistance through unconditional love, in being present to the miraculous beauty that seeks to live through me, as me, and in benefit to all humanity now. I love myself. Oh, I'm sorry. I know myself. Maybe you love yourself too. I know myself to be worthy of this grace, to be this grace, so be it. All right. And then it says, place your hands gently on your heart and rest for a few long moments. And when you're finished, you have completed your ritual. So the last sentence, I'll add it to say, I know and I love myself to be worthy of this grace. So be this grace, so be it. All right. Very beautiful here, Pisces. Thank you guys so much for your patience, as always. And happy birthday again to all the Sun sign Pisces out there. What else? Yeah, if you want to see a photo too of all the cards, I will be posting it shortly on my Facebook page. So all you have to do is go in the description box below and follow the instructions there if you want to see the photo. But I think that's it. So other than that, you guys take care. And hopefully in a little while, I will be coming back with Capricorn. I'm going to be going backwards through the signs this time, because that's what I usually do. I rotate which way I go to get everybody to feel, that they're coming first this time. All right. Anyway, you can always join me there, or if not, that's okay too. But you guys take care. And please know that the likes not only let me know that you resonate with the message, or you like the message, but it actually tells YouTube and their algorithms that you do, so it shares it with more people. So that's a free way to help the channel. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to, another free thing you can do, just click on the bell icon somewhere over here for you guys, bottom right, and make sure it's blue and it's active. And it basically just notifies you when I put out new readings. All right. So I'll see you guys later. All right. Bye.